Hello everybody and welcome back to another tips video. Here I've got 5 more tips to try and optimize your account as much as we possibly can, just to avoid you guys having to spend or feel like you ever have to. This way you're just getting the most out of everything that you've got, and hopefully you're not wasting anything like your trailblaze powers or your warps or hopefully anything, and you're making the most out of all of it. So let's dive right in and see what we've got. So the first thing I want to show people, in case they don't know, is that there's a way for you to kind of almost store your trailblaze power if for some reason you're too busy to just quickly spend them in the day. Let's say you've been at work all day and then you're doing something in the evening. You might not find the time to spend all your power, especially as it's constantly regenerating back. One thing that you can do is actually turn it into the coins that you use during the simulated universe runs. So I'm on controller. If you're obviously on mobile, you could just click this, or on the computer, but I'm just going to press my right trigger, take me up to the top, and then if I click here, these little coins are an alternative currency, if you will, to the trailblaze power, but unfortunately at the moment at least they're only for the simulated universe. So you just click on it, and what it does is it converts 40 trailblaze power into one of these immersifiers. So it's just a way to really quickly spend them, and then that way you can store them up for the following day, or even store 8 of them up and wait for the weekly reset to happen. And that way you'd probably be able to just spend them all at once and clear that whole the reset gauge. Just clear it all out in once and get all the rewards in one go. So it's a nice little tip. I'm going to do it now and grab one. It's that easy. And unlike games like Genshin, you literally need no other resources to do this. And you can do it from the get-go, I believe, until I think you probably have to have cleared some of the simulated universe. But as soon as you got to the point where you can see these, you should be able to go ahead and do it. So that's my first tip. So my next tip is one you may have heard of, and that's basically not completely fully leveling up your characters. I mean, if it's your main DPS, I get it. You want to see the most amount of damage you can get out of them. I'd understand leveling up to their max level. But certainly for some of your support characters, just leaving them perhaps on 59 or just the level below where you would be at max, there's a really good way to save some XP bucks doing it like this. If you just go around the map and defeat all the smaller enemies that reset every day, you can really build up some XP quite quickly. I'm going to show you with my march. My march is currently on 19,368. What I intend to quickly do is I'm going to go through and clear the whole of this area, which is the Divination Commission, and then we're going to come back and we're going to see how much XP we got on our March 7th. Let's go. guys, and we're back. I've just cleared all of this area, like I said, as in the Divination Commission, and I've only done this one area. March was on about 19,000 XP gained, so now she's on 22, so that was about 3,000, probably a little bit more than 3,000 XP gained from just doing one area, and that was on one character. Let's say you got your whole team slightly underleveled to the point where they would be gaining XP from doing this process. That's like 12,000 XP just for doing, again, this one area. If you went round and cleared the entire map, you would actually be getting quite a substantial amount of experience. Now, this isn't something that I suggest, like I said, that you do on your main DPS characters, but certainly your supports. And if you had any other characters that you feel like you want to see what they're like leveled up, but you don't want to commit using resources that are finite at the end of the day into leveling them up, then, you know, a character like Herta, she's not that great, you know, it's not a character that you can maybe justify using the XP instead of a character like your 5-star that you got. Do you know what I mean? But this way it allows you to level up those characters that aren't quite as important as your main guns, and at the same time it also gives you something to do. I mean, I think a lot of us have found that once you've cleared the main story, there's not a whole lot to keep yourself busy, and this is just a nice little way of doing it. Unfortunately, I found out about this before I'd leveled most of my characters that I'm currently using up to 60. But I certainly think when I hit my new ascension, which will be very soon, I'm probably going to only level up the characters like Ting Yun, Natasha, my Trailblazer, maybe even a character like Welt. I'll probably level them up to maybe 69 or something like that. Well, hey. And then that way it gives me a little bit of something to keep me occupied with, whilst also saving quite a lot of books. If you think about, the last level is the most amount of XP to put into it, if you know what I mean, and if you've not done that for 5-6 characters, you've actually probably saved quite a lot of books there, and really you're not going to even have noticed the fact that they're one level underleveled. So that's tip 2. Next thing I want to talk about are warps, and basically saving warps is the kind of thing I want to mention. For some people it's harder than others. For this banner, it was one that I was very much excited for. I knew I wanted pretty much every 4-star on it, and I knew I wanted the main character as well, the 5-star on it too. So I'd saved up all of the previous warps from playing the main story and everything like that. I managed to save up 140, and I spent them all and guaranteed that I got the character that I wanted. And now I am spending a few of them because I wouldn't mind trying to E6, I beg your pardon, a few of the 4-stars on this banner. That being said though, I do really want Silver Wolf, and if I get to anywhere near Soft Pity, or if I just get enough of the Eidolons for the characters I want that I'm happy enough to stop, I will be saving all my warps from that point on for Silver Wolf, or at least for the next character who I really want. It is fun just being able to warp whenever you want and just doing it and seeing what you get. I've got, you know, I can't fault anybody for playing that way, but if you really want to optimize your account without spending a dime, and you really know there's a character coming up that you want, all I'm saying is just save them up. It's so fun to spend them all at once, and it also allows you to get the characters that you want. yeah, you may have to miss a few 5 stars along the way, but at the end of the day, you're getting the character that you really desired. Next thing I want to briefly touch upon is the Starlight exchange. This is, you know, it's a bit of a controversial thing to just tell you to save up and get a 5-star light cone, but honestly, I think it's the best thing to do. I could right now pick up, what? Let's find out. How many could I grab? I could grab 13 special rail passes if I wished. But honestly, I just think it's such a good idea to save them up and guarantee getting a light cone and your pick of it as well, making sure that you're getting one that, for starters, you don't already have, and one that suits perhaps the 5-star that you got on your account, or just something you know will be great in the long run. I'm really excited to hopefully pick up Yang Qing's one at some point soon. And all of them have some really good buffs to them. I mean, this gives a crit damage by 30%, that's huge. And not only that, let's say you were to get them again, even that wouldn't be the end of the world. The buffs that they do actually give are pretty substantial, so it's not going to be the worst thing if you did save up, get one, and then got it again. But they can be so hard to acquire a certain one that I think just saving this currency and allowing you to grab one when you get up to that 600 mark is a really good thing to do. And even if it might not be a light cone, picking up a 4-star perhaps that you know or you enjoy could also be a great option for you. These will change every month. As you can see, we've got 10 days left for these two. Once that's over, another pair will enter into the shop, and you'll have a chance to get those as well. But personally for me, I would still save it all up and pick up the 5 stars. And now for the final tip. This one's a little bit obvious, but I still think it's one worth mentioning, especially if this is one of your first MiHoYo games that you're playing. You might be not so familiar with the way that they function. Usually they will be always running an event, and the first event has recently occurred in Honkai. It's still ongoing at the moment, and what you can do is you can access it by going to the travel log. Here it has the event, which is a Boulder Town Super League event, and it tells you also what kind of rewards you can expect to see. Not exactly how many you get, but it's usually, you know, I think we're getting 500 Stellar Jade once you've completed everything for this one, so that's a pretty decent amount. If you go to objectives, it will tell you really the bulk of how you can get all these rewards. And then you can even go straight to the event by just clicking it there as well. These are usually quite fun, to be honest, and they just give you a little bit of extra content to clear in the game, as well as giving you some pretty decent rewards, and some you definitely don't want to miss out on getting. So actually looking at it, so we get 20 for clearing each one, and there's 5, so that's going to be 100 for doing that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we're going to be getting 600 Stellar Jades for doing this. On top of XP for characters and for weapons and for relics as well, and credits as well. So it's all really useful stuff for you, and I really recommend making sure that you clear these when they do come on. They do usually last for a couple of weeks, and they do usually take about a week for it to fully unlock. So let's say, you know, you're only playing the game, you know, a little bit on and off for a week. You could wait for it to build up anyway and then clear it all at once, but definitely make sure you try and clear them before they go away. Alright guys, and that's my 5 more tips to optimize your account. I hope there was maybe something in there that helped, and yeah, I hope it really helps you get the most out of all the resources that are available to you in the game without having to spend a single dime. Thanks for all the support, have a great rest of your day, peace out.